We're counting down the 18 most unbelievable, odds-defying moments in Ryder Cup history since 2010. Moments that aren't just great shots, but true one-in-a-million feats. From unthinkable clutch putts and emotional breakdowns under the world's harshest pressure, to record-smashing team streaks and controversies that changed the very fabric of the competition. Each entry shows just how unpredictable and dramatic golf's greatest team event can be. Some of these moments rewrote history books, others tore up the script entirely. Which unforgettable Ryder Cup story takes the top spot? Let's find out, starting with number 18. Number 18, Hazeltine, 2016. Practice day, and the heckling from the gallery is getting personal. Henrik Stenson finally calls out David Johnson, a loud but good-natured fan from North Dakota, and hands him a putter. Justin Rose sweetens the deal, dropping a crisp $100 bill right next to the ball. 12 feet stand between Johnson and Ryder Cup immortality. The crowd goes quiet. The pressure is suddenly real. And Johnson pours it in, center cup, sending the European squad and the gallery into chaos. In an instant, a regular guy becomes a cult hero, with his putt exploding across social media and golf talk shows. No fan had ever been asked to replicate Ryder Cup nerves, let alone delivered. Johnson's moment broke the wall between pros and spectators, proving that, for one shot, anyone can feel the heat, and sometimes, lightning actually strikes. Number 17, Whistling Straits, 2021. Rory McIlroy stands behind the 18th green, having just beaten Xander Schauffele, but his face is streaked with tears. Europe has been crushed, 19-9, their worst defeat in the modern era, and McIlroy, usually the rock of Team Europe, can barely speak through the emotion. In a live interview, he calls the Ryder Cup the greatest event in golf, then breaks down, admitting, "I would give up all my majors just to be part of this team." For a superstar known for composure, this raw vulnerability is almost unheard of. The moment explodes across social media, fans and players alike struck by the weight these matches carry. In a sport built on stoicism, McIlroy's tears revealed the Ryder Cup's true cost: pride, heartbreak, and the rarest kind of passion. Number 16, Gleneagles, 2014. Friday, and rookie Patrick Reed is already feeding off the Scottish crowd's energy. Paired against Henrik Stenson, Reed faces a crucial putt with the gallery roaring for a miss. He drains it, then turns and plants a finger to his lips, shushing the home fans with a gesture that instantly becomes Ryder Cup legend. In that moment, Reed transforms from anonymous newcomer to pantomime villain, relishing the boos as much as the cheers. "I live for this," he later tells reporters, and he means it, theatrics and all. The crowd's reaction is electric, some outraged, others oddly admiring. No other American rookie had ever silenced a European crowd so brazenly, and Reed's shush sets the tone for a new era of Cup gamesmanship. It's not just golf, it's match play theater at its purest. Number 15, Marco Simone, Rome, Friday morning, and Europe's foursomes pairings are about to make history. For the first time ever, all four European duos win their matches, sweeping the session 4-0 and leaving the US team stunned before lunch. Captain Luke Donald's strategy is pure analytics, pairings built on recent form, ball striking data, and chemistry, not just reputation. The Americans, heavy favorites on paper, find themselves reeling, internal meetings, searching for answers, and the pressure dialed up for the rest of the weekend. This sweep isn't just about points, it's a statistical anomaly in nearly a century of Ryder Cup play. The opening session sets the tone for everything that follows, from viral controversies to Europe's ultimate triumph. In a format where one match can flip momentum, 4 straight wins is a shot of adrenaline for team golf's data-driven future. Number 10, Hazeltine, 2016. Sergio Garcia and Phil Mickelson step onto the first tee for Sunday singles, both with reputations as Ryder Cup warriors. What unfolds is pure video game golf. Birdies on 4 of the first 5 holes, then another and another. The final tally? 19 birdies between them. Mickelson with 10, Garcia with 9, neither willing to blink. On the 18th, both pour in clutch birdies to tie the match, sealing a better ball 58, 18 under par, under the most suffocating pressure in golf. Garcia doesn't drop a shot. Mickelson's only bogey is erased by brilliance everywhere else. The duel is so electric that even the crowd, usually partisan, can't help but cheer both men. In Ryder Cup history, no singles match has ever reached this level of sustained shot-making. 19 birdies, 0 quit, and a handshake for the ages. Number 13, Le Golf National, Paris. Sunday singles, and Jon Rahm is staring down Tiger Woods, his childhood idol, with the cup hanging in the balance. Rahm, a Ryder Cup rookie, carries all the nerves you'd expect, but on the 17th green, he buries a pressure-packed putt to close out Woods 2-1, unleashing a roar that echoes across the course. For Rahm, it's not just a point, it's validation, the moment he steps out of Tiger's shadow and into Europe's spotlight. Woods pulls Rahm aside, telling him he played phenomenally, and Rahm later calls it the most emotional win of my life. Beating Tiger in singles as a rookie, with the world watching, is the kind of generational torch passing that happens once in a blue moon. In that instant, Europe finds its new standard bearer. Number 12, Whistling Straits, 2021. Dustin Johnson is on a tear. 5 matches, 5 wins, 0 losses. In a format built for chaos, where even the best get ambushed by match play quirks, Johnson runs the table, beating Paul Casey and Bernd Wiesberger in foursomes, dominating Tyrrell Hatton and Matt Fitzpatrick in 4-balls, and closing out rookie Paul Casey again in singles. Not since Larry Nelson in 1979 had an American posted a perfect 5-0-0 record. It's a unicorn feat, 44 years of Ryder Cups, and not a single US player managed it until now. Johnson's week is a masterclass in consistency and nerve, the kind of statistical outlier that only surfaces once in a generation. In a sea of upsets and pressure cookers, flawless is almost impossible, but for 1 week, DJ made it look routine. Number 11, Whistling Straits, 2021. Bryson DeChambeau steps onto the par 5 fifth tee with the crowd buzzing and the wind at his back. He swings out of his shoes, launching a drive that carries 417 yards through the Wisconsin air, over bunkers, over trouble, leaving just a wedge to the green. The launch monitor flashes, ball speed north of 190 miles per hour. Even his teammates, seasoned pros, stand open-mouthed. With the eagle putt, DeChambeau turns physics into pure showmanship, electrifying the gallery and flipping the match's momentum in a single swing. In Ryder Cup history, no one had ever attempted, let alone pulled off, a shot of that scale under this kind of pressure. It's not just distance, it's a sports science spectacle, a viral highlight, and a reminder that on golf's biggest stage, the boundaries of possible are still being rewritten. Number 10, Paris, 2018. Francesco Molinari and Tommy Fleetwood walk off the course arm in arm, grins as wide as the Seine. Over 4 sessions, they've just done something no European duo had ever managed, a perfect 4-0 sweep across both foursomes and 4-balls. Chemistry, not just firepower, defines their run. Fleetwood's swagger and Molinari's calm blending into a rhythm that steamrolls world-class American pairs. The nickname Mollywood catches fire on social media, their bromance and synchronized celebrations instantly iconic. Each win builds momentum, each hug cements their legend. By Sunday night, the Ryder Cup is overflowing with stories, but none capture the joy and unity of 2 friends rewriting the record books together. In a competition usually dominated by superstars, it's partnership, pure and simple, that makes history. Number 9, Marco Simone, 2023. Sunday singles, and the Ryder Cup hangs in the balance. Tommy Fleetwood stands over a short birdie putt on the 16th green, just 2 feet from clinching Europe's 14th point. But before he can even take the stroke, Ricky Fowler, having just found the water off the tee, steps in and concedes the putt. The referee confirms it, and just like that, the cup is decided, not by a dramatic hold putt, but by the simple words, "That's good." Under Rule 3.2b, a concession is final, no takebacks, no second chances. It's a quirk of match play that rarely decides the biggest prize in golf. Fleetwood's arms go up, teammates pour onto the green, and a Ryder Cup is sealed in a moment of sportsmanship and strange inevitability. In over 90 years, clinching glory has almost never looked quite like this. 8th place, Marco Simone, 2023. Viktor Hovland and Ludwig Aberg walk onto the Friday foursomes tee as Ryder Cup rookies. By the time they leave the 11th green, they've delivered the largest blowout in modern Cup history. A 9-7 demolition of world number 1 Scottie Scheffler and 5-time major champion Brooks Koepka. Hole after hole, the European pair stacks birdies and pars while the Americans unravel. Scheffler reduced to tears on the broadcast as the margin balloons. No team in the current format had ever won by 9 holes, especially not against opponents with that kind of pedigree. For Hovland and Aberg, it's a 1-in-a-million debut, a record-setting rout that leaves even seasoned pros stunned. In a contest built for drama, this was pure dominance, rookies rewriting the script and setting a new standard for Cup carnage. Number 7. Medinah, 2012. Justin Rose stands on the 17th green, trailing Phil Mickelson in Sunday singles, with Europe's hopes flickering. 40 feet from the hole, the putt snakes across 2 ridges, the crowd rumbling with every inch. Rose reads the brakes, steadies himself, and sends the ball rolling, tracking, then dropping dead center. The eruption is instant, a wall of sound as Rose pumps his fist and stares down Mickelson. In that moment, belief surges through the European camp. One putt, under maximum pressure, flips the script and lights the fuse for the miracle at Medinah. It's a micro-turning point, a single stroke that turns desperation into possibility, feeding the run that follows. Pressure putts of this length, in this context, almost never fall. But on that green, Rose made the impossible look inevitable. 6th place, Medinah, 2012. Saturday afternoon, and Europe is on the ropes. Ian Poulter stares down the back 9, his team teetering on elimination. What happens next is pure Ryder Cup folklore. Poulter birdies 14, then 15, then 16, then 17, and finally 18, 5 straight, each one ratcheting up the tension and the noise. Teammates later said his eyes looked possessed, his fist pumps more like declarations of war than celebration. Every putt, every stare sent a jolt through the European camp, flipping despair into belief. The American pair could only watch as Poulter dragged his side back from the brink, a one-man ignition switch for the greatest comeback in Cup history. 5 birdies under do-or-die pressure. Statistically, almost impossible. For a moment, it felt like Poulter was carrying an entire continent on his shoulders, and he never flinched. Number 5. Medinah, 2012. Sunday morning, and Rory McIlroy is nowhere to be found. A time zone mix-up has him believing his tee time is an hour later, but a frantic phone call jolts him awake at the hotel. In a blur, he's bundled into a police car, sirens blaring, racing through Chicago traffic with a state trooper at the wheel. 12 minutes before his match with Keegan Bradley, McIlroy sprints to the first tee, barely time to lace up his shoes. The threat of disqualification hangs in the air. One of Europe's biggest stars could blow it all before swinging a club. But instead, he steadies himself, blocks out the chaos, and wins 2-1. In Ryder Cup history, no player has come this close to disaster, then flipped the script so completely. It's a sequence of stacked improbabilities, panic, rescue, and a hero's finish, all in the space of an hour. Number 4. Glen Eagles, 2014. Jamie Donaldson stands over his ball on the 15th fairway, a relative unknown with the fate of the Ryder Cup in his hands. The situation is pure pressure. A tight Sunday singles match, teammates and captain Paul McGinley watching from the edge of the green, and millions holding their breath across Europe. Donaldson pulls a 9-iron, takes aim, and fires a laser that settles just a couple of feet from the flag, kick in range. That shot clinches the cup for Europe, the match officially over before the final holes. McGinley rushes to embrace him, the crowd erupts, and Donaldson, once an everyman, becomes a Ryder Cup legend. Cup-winning shots usually fall to household names, but on this day, it's precision and nerve from golf's quiet man that seals history. In a contest built on giants, sometimes the hero is the one nobody saw coming. Coming to the top 3, Hazeltine, 2016, Sunday singles, and the 8th hole is about to erupt. Rory McIlroy drains a 35-foot bomb, turns to the crowd, and unleashes a primal scream, fist pumping, veins bulging, riding the energy like a prize fighter. The fans go wild, but the noise barely fades before Patrick Reed steps up. Reed buries his own putt, then wags his finger right back in Rory's face, matching fire with fire. Microphones catch every word. The crowd surges. And suddenly, it's not just golf. It's two alphas locked in a battle of wills, feeding off each other's adrenaline. Moments like this, back-to-back haymakers, raw celebration, and mutual respect, are almost unheard of in Ryder Cup lore. For a few electric minutes, the entire sport feels like it's teetering on the edge of chaos, and nobody can look away. In second place, Marco Simone, 2023. Hatgate erupts, and the Ryder Cup turns into pure chaos. It starts with a rumor. Patrick Cantlay is supposedly protesting for pay by refusing to wear a team cap. The crowd latches on, waving hats, singing taunts, and turning every hole into a circus. Then, on the 18th green, Cantlay drains a monster birdie putt, and his caddy, Joe LaCava, waves his hat right in Rory McIlroy's putting line. Words fly, tempers flare, and security is called in as the confrontation spills into the parking lot. McIlroy shouting, Shane Lowry holding him back, American caddies in the crossfire. Social media explodes, the story goes global, and for a few surreal hours, the Ryder Cup is less about golf than viral drama. Never before has a rumor, a gesture, and a parking lot argument collided to hijack the world's biggest team event on live TV. And finally, in first place, Medinah, 2012. Martin Kaymer stands on the 18th green, 4 feet from immortality. Europe has clawed back from a 10-6 deficit, the largest away comeback in Ryder Cup history. Everything now rests on Kaymer's putter. The crowd, thousands strong, falls silent. So quiet that later, Kaymer said he could hear his own heartbeat. Miss, and the miracle at Medinah dies. Make it, and Europe completes the impossible. Kaymer settles, strokes, and the ball slides in. Pandemonium erupts, teammates storm the green, the scoreboard flips, and European fans unleash a roar for the ages. In a contest built on pressure, this was the ultimate test. One man, one putt, the weight of a continent. The Ryder Cup, decided by a single 4-footer, becomes legend. Moments like this, statistically, emotionally, are truly one in a million. From a fan draining a pressure-packed putt for $100 at Hazeltine, to Martin Kaymer's 4-footer sealing the greatest comeback in Ryder Cup history, these 18 moments prove just how unpredictable and electrifying this event can be. Across the list, we saw everything from record-setting team sweeps and emotional breakdowns to sportsmanship quirks and viral controversies like Hatgate. The common thread? Unrepeatable drama. Whether it's a rookie toppling Tiger, a pair like Mollywood sweeping all their matches, or a legend nearly missing his tee time and still delivering. What set these moments apart wasn't just raw skill, but the collision of pressure, pride, and the unique Ryder Cup format that amplifies every shot and decision. In a competition defined by razor-thin margins and collective belief, even a single putt can echo through history. Ultimately, these one-in-a-million moments remind us why the Ryder Cup stands alone. No other stage turns ordinary players, fans, and situations into legends quite like this.